revoir.
You're going to sleep.
UMAR AHMED, IFL TV, MTK Global. We're in Maryland, America. Is this part of Washington then? Explain it to me.
No, this is Oxon Hill, Maryland. This is Prince George's County. We're right over the bridge, so we're really, this area is called the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, because we're right over the river, the Potomac to Northern Virginia, and then we're right over the Anacostia River to Washington, DC. So it's the DC area.
Okay.
It's the greater metropolitan area, but it's not, this is technically Maryland.
It's an absolutely lovely area. We'll just pan it around. It's a nice little place.
That's a plane going into Reagan National Airport.
Okay, David Diamante, talk to me about Devin Haney headlining his card. A massive talent, of course, 20 years old. Definitely a future superstar.
Well, you know, let's see. He's got to prove that in the ring. He's done everything right so far. You know, this guy, born in San Francisco, you know, he lived in Oakland, California until he was 7 years old. His dad, Billy, moved him to Las Vegas. 7-time amateur national champion. You know, he's mentored by Floyd Mayweather Jr. Trains, you know, he's trained at the Dog Pound. He's, you know, sparred with guys like Tank, Jesse Vargas, Showtime Sean Porter. And I like the fact that, you know, he's trained he's been under the tutelage of Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather Sr. He's with Mike, the body snatcher McCallum right now, which is great. You know, he's ranked number 3 in the world by the WBC, 21-0. You know, he's doing everything right so far. He's got the WBC international strap and the WBO intercontinental strap, but it's time to step it up and see what's really going on. And I think we're about to do that. And you know, he says, look, I'm only 20 years old. I don't even have my man strength yet. So if you guys want me, come get me now. But he's calling out for the big fights. He believes in himself. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He's shown himself to be wise beyond his years. So we'll see if he can do the business.
Well, it's a hell of a division. Obviously, Lomachenko right at the top. Then you got Teofimo Lopez. You got Devin himself. Luke Campbell. Abdulayev. It's a great division.
It's a great division. There's a lot of guys, and I think that he believes that at some point he's going to move up. So he wants to, you know, start working on this division right now. I mean, look, to see a guy like him against Teofimo Lopez right now, do you know how mouth-watering that fight would be? That's an awesome fight.
And they've obviously got history before with the sparring.
Oh, it's great, man. It'd be great. But even Abdulayev or Campbell, I think it's great, all these fights. So I'd like to see him do it.
Richard Comey as well, the IBF champ.
Absolutely, man. Kobe's there. So there's a lot of great fighters that he could take on.
Absolutely. Right, let's talk a bit about the heavyweight division. We
Sure.
saw Wilder emphatic knockout of Dominic Breazeale. What was your reaction to it?
Well, I mean, he should have done that. That's what he should have done. I mean, it was absolutely quicker than a lot of people expected, but we expected him to do the business. You know, the left hand followed by the right, and that was the end of the story. Look, I think it was great because at the end of the day, with the heavyweights, people want to see a knockout. It's the hurt business. And we all want to see Wilder, Fury, and Joshua get it on. So we want to see that. And I think that this knockout just whets the appetite of the public more for a big matchup between Joshua and Wilder. It's got to happen.
It has to, but I'm not too optimistic about it. Comments from Shelley Finkel and Wilder's team saying they've lined up Ortiz already, that's signed. They've got Kalnacki. It's basically got a free fight deal with Showtime. So that potentially could put Joshua Wilder off till 2021, and that's if they both stay undefeated.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on with these guys because to me, it just makes sense for these guys to fight. It's good for their legacies. Look, I love Kovnatsky. I think Ortiz is great, but we want to see the 3 big guys fight. That's what we all want to see. And if these fights are good, we can have rematches and rubber matches, and there's so many things that could happen.
What did you make of Wilder's comments before the fight about taking a body legally?
I'd rather not talk about that.
Fair enough. Absolutely. All right, David, after...
This sport's way too dangerous. This sport's just way too dangerous. So I really have no comment on that. I mean, I spent time with Deontay Wilder, and but I just, I don't want to comment on that.
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night you do Devin Haney and Moran. Then what are you doing next? What's your next show?
So next week, obviously, Madison Square Garden, we've got Joshua against Ruiz. Then I'm headed up to Canastota to the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm going to handle some of the festivities up there. Again, Friday night in New York City at the Copacabana, I'll be hosting the Boxing Writers Association of America dinner. It's an awards ceremony been going on for many, many years, and it's very prestigious. It's really fun, so that's going to be a busy week because we have a huge fight week for Joshua Ruiz. That Friday is obviously the weigh-in, and that night is the BWAA dinner that I'll be hosting at the Copacabana.
Sounds interesting.
It's great. You should be there, and it's just...
Is it in New York?
It's in New York at the Copacabana.
Oh,
it's a very famous nightclub in New York City, and it's right in Midtown. And you know, everyone's there. It's kind of like the Cold War where you got, you know, you have ESPN and PBC and DAZN, and everyone will be together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they'll all be there. Everyone comes. Everyone comes.
Get down there.
You should be there. So that's going on, and then of course we're going to York in Bethnal Green. So we're going back to London. You know, obviously Dillian White, hopefully back in action, coming up soon.
Manchester's been announced.
Manchester,
Coley,
yeah, I cannot
Fitzgerald's
wait.
back.
I love it. Yeah, so many great fights to happen. So there's going to be a lot of things. So I can't wait to be back in the UK. We just had the show in Nottingham a couple weeks ago. That was really.
Bit of an upset for Jordan Gill, obviously. Didn't go his way.
It was a little bit of an upset, but you know what? This is how you got to do it, man. It's not about, everyone's so focused on this but it's not about that. He had a really tough task. Tinoco was a tough fighter, and it's funny too. You know, you see, you know, when Lomachenko got his very first loss, you know, he's coming from the amateur system, and even all the hundreds of amateur fights that the guy had and all the accolades. Still, it's a different game when you go pro, when you fight a really tough guy like Salido. Just really put it on him. He was tough with him, and you watch Tinoco in that fight. Tinoco did some really cagey, smart things that a pro does. He hit him kind of a little bit borderline there and different things, roughed Gil up. And I just think Gil learned a lot from that fight. So hopefully him and Dave will go back to the gym, they'll work on some stuff, and he'll come back a lot stronger. But he's got nothing to hang his head about. He fought like a warrior. Of course, it was great to have Lethal Lee Wood on that card, bringing Nottingham back to
real good performance.
back to Nottingham on a big stage. I think that's really good. It was a nice performance against ruthless Ryan Doyle. So yeah, good fights. We'll see. I think Gil will be back. He'll be back stronger. All
right, David Diamante, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV.
Thank you.
Big night tomorrow, and then a huge fight week in New York. I'll see you there.
Yeah, great. IFL TV, Umar. Thank you, buddy.
Top man.
You're going to sleep.